there's a difference between the wilderness and God's discipline. Now, we see this in the life of John the Baptist. He was in the wilderness being trained, and it says in Luke 3, verse 2, that the word of God came to him while he was in the wilderness. Now, even in my own journey, in my own life, there's a lot of confusion, especially when we're young, between the wilderness season and God's discipline. And a lot of times they look very similar and they feel similar, but they're very different. The wilderness is God's training ground. It's what God uses to purify us, to reveal our own motives, to show us our weaknesses, to what's what John says in John 15, to prune us. It's what God uses to build up the man and woman of God. And we see this all through the scriptures, and especially exemplified here with John. Now, God's discipline is punitive. A lot of times discipline comes because we did something wrong, because there was sin or we fell short. And so it feels the same at times, but the difference is God's motivation. Sometimes there's a pause, it seems like, in our lives where we're not moving forward in what God's called us. And yet God is working in our character, in our hearts, in our understanding, in our foundations, in our motivations. He's purifying us and preparing us. This is the wilderness. This is the foundation from which we springboard into our callings, into ministry, into business, into impact. But God is building a foundation. And these seasons can be long and arduous. It was long for John the Baptist. And yet, it says he was probably in the wilderness 30 years, but his ministry was only between 6 months and 12 months. Isn't that amazing that he was trained for so long, and yet he changed a nation by the power of his preaching and his honoring the holiness of God. And so I want to encourage you, when you find yourself in these seasons of wilderness, they're seasons of training. There are times when you feel like, God, nothing's moving in my life, even though I have all this potential and prophetic words and promises from God, and yet it feels like nothing's moving. A lot of times there are seasons of training that God is preparing and doing things behind the scenes. They're not times to give up, but it's a time to be faithful. It's a time to engage with God. It's a time to go deep in His Word. It's a time to build your spiritual life. Because when things move, in the Bible it says God moves suddenly. And when God starts moving suddenly, things are busy and things shift radically in our lives. And these seasons are very sweet, actually, where we grow intimate with God. We know the character and the nature of God. We know His voice. And He builds this history, which is really important to God and for us. And so I want to encourage you to stay in the wilderness. If this is your season, to take courage in it, to go deep in it, get everything that God has for you out of this season, because it's a time when God has intimately and meticulously is using this time. He sees you, He knows you, He hasn't forgotten about you. But He's actually building something that's worth more than gold. And so take courage in this season and be faithful and grow deep in the word of the Lord.